Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, right. So let me add some more people, right? So there's two people also in the lobby right now. Okay, right. So, guys, what we have covered. So we have covered the basic networking, right? If you guys remember that, guys, please be on mute. Okay, and in the basic networking, LAN, MAN, and WAN, we have covered that. Then after, okay, guys, please be on mute. Types of traffic we have in the traffic, multicast, multicast, right? And then we have seen the broadcast. And then after that, we have seen that what are the devices we have. In networking, right? Or not networking, we can call it CCNA, not CCNA, enterprise, or we can say the routing and switching. In networking, we have lots of devices. So I'll just mention the routing and switching. Or in a new language, we can call as a enterprise. So we have a router, we have a switch, then we have a PC, or we can say the host and host, right? The laptop, we can call it. We have a server, right? These are the main, what we call main devices we have. Cables also comes in the devices, right? So these are the main devices we have in the networking, right? Apart from this thing, you have a basic information about the WLC, wireless line controller, and APs too, right? That's our basic information, like only just a theory part. The main practical part you have over here. Then after that, if you guys remember that, we have also covered the what is IP addresses, right? We have also covered the what is MAC addresses, right? We have seen the purpose of collision domain, right? We have seen the purpose of the broadcast domain, right? Then we have seen the practical of how to configure IP address on a PC side, on a Cisco packet address. I just mentioned that over there, right? And then after that, we have also seen that the working of packet ratio, right? After that, we have covered the classes of IP addresses. Like we have A, B, and C, and D and E, right? A, B, C used for the unicast and broadcast. Class D for the multicasting. Class E is reserved for the documentation purpose, and you can say the future purpose as well. And then after that, we have seen the subnetting, right? Then after that, we have seen the subnetting FLSM and definition of the VLSM as well. Then we have covered the some labs of FLSM as well, right? So we have covered the labs of FLSM in the class A, we have it, class B, we have it, and class C, we have it. I hope everyone understand all those things. Even if you have any question, you can go ahead and ask any question if you have any things from here. But my recommendation, please watch the video. If you're not going to watch the video, you always have a doubts. Okay. So always try to spend some time, at least in a 24 hours, right? We have a lots of time. Even if you're going to sleep the 8 hours, right? Still you have a 16 hours left in your pocket, right? And even in the 16 hours, even you're going to have some fun, 8 hours still you have it. So 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours fun, right? Watching the movie, talking to someone, right? And then still you have 8 hours. Even I'm not saying to just study 8 hours. Even if you're going to just study 2 hours, right? That's enough for me. But at least watch the video. That helps you, right? So yesterday we covered the lots of things, right? In the 2 days in the subnetting part, we have understand what is the concept of subnet mask. We have understand what is the use of network bit, what is the use of host bit, how we can see the lots of IP addresses, right? That we have seen that. Now, I told you that we are going to start some labs over there, right? So let's see how to configure, right? First of all, how to configure the IP addresses on the router. So I'm not going to use any GNS3 right now, not ABNG, right? So normally, if you remember that in the first lecture, I have explained you that you can do the lab, right? On the Cisco packet tracer, you can do that lab, right? You can do the lab on the GNS3. You can do the lab on the EVNG, right? You can do the lab on the WebIO. So WebIO is not a part of the any syllabus. So, but yeah, definitely I'll explain you WebIO as well at the end of the classes. On not end of the class, end of the training, right? So in future, maybe if you're encounter with the WebIO, right, in somewhere in the companies or in the labs, then you will not get confused with this word. And either you can do the lab on the real routers or switches if you have, right? But normally, if I talk about, even if you go in the CCI lab exam, right? In a older days, in the 90s, sorry, in 1995, or we can call it the 1998, on that time, the lab was happening, the CCI lab was happening on the real devices, right? So for example, if you are in the 2002, right? And if you're planning to get the CCI exam, if you're planning to take the CCI exam, then you need to do the CCI exam for real racks. Guys, please don't be on mute. So you have to do the exam on the real devices. But nowadays, if you're planning to take a CCI lab exam, the CCI lab exam is only happening on the virtual. So everything is virtual right now. So even if you go in the CCI lab exam, right? So normally what happened, take example. So once you enter in this room, this is the room, right? In the CCI lab room. So you will get the two computers, right? Where you have a one keyboard, one mouse, and you will be sitting over there. Same thing, the other person will be sitting over there, right? You have a keyboard, your mouse, and the other person is sitting over same way. Another person is also sitting over here, right? The screen, we have a keyboard, then we have a mouse, and another person sitting over there. So all these three person in the single room, they are giving the exam. So maybe this person is giving the exam of what? This person is giving the exam of the enterprise, CCI enterprise. Maybe this person is giving the SP, service provider. Maybe this person is giving the data center, right? So you will find the multiple peoples over there, maybe 7 to 8 peoples. Normally you can see that. That's a maximum one. Normally, when I took my exam, right? I took the exam of the enterprise and data center 2 times. So I found only 3 to 4 peoples, right? So that's how the lab is working. So it's 8 hours of the exam of the lab exam. So in the 8 hours of the lab exam, what's happened over there? Normally, the proctor will be sitting in the different room, but he can see everything what you are doing that. There will be a camera that is going to record everything. So here's a camera over there. So this camera is going to record everything. So you have to only watch on your screen. If you're watching on the different screen, for example, if this guy is watching on the different screen, so if the proctor or the like a camera will identify you, might be they will restrict you. Okay, so it's totally 8 hours of exam. You have to sit you don't need to sit the 8 hours. If you are able to finish the exam in the 6 hour or in the 5 hours, then you can left. That's not a big deal. And even you don't need to turn off your laptop. Even you don't need to turn off your laptop. You just need to say that proctor, hey, I have finished my exam. Proctor will come over there. They will just verify a few things. And after that, you can go to leave. And maybe in the 30 minutes or maybe the 1 hour, depend on the calculation of the result, you will get the result that. So mostly when I gave my 2 exam, enterprise and DC, I got my result in 1 hour and sometimes in 1 hour 30 minutes. So some people's right, I have seen one of my friend, he got a result in 15 hours or 12 hours, something like that. So it's depend on the server side. But if in 8 hours, even if you're going outside, okay, so your time is still running over there. So you cannot pause the time and something like that. And there will full AC is going on because lots of servers running over there, right? So there will be 2 AC over there. You need to wear some heavy winter clothes. That's how the CCI lab exam is happening. But if I talk about like you guys are in the CCNA and CCNP enterprise, in the CCNA and CCNP enterprise, you don't have a labs over there. You just have a theory questions. So like your options are coming over there. You just need to select the one of the option and that's all. But in the CCI lab exam, you need to go first, you need to pass the ENCODE paper. If you guys remember that I mentioned this thing, right? I gave you the one example of the day 1. You need to pass the ENCODE exam and then you can go with the CCI lab exam. This is how the lab is happening. And only the practical things you can only have to show over there. So normally people are utilizing all the 8 hours because you cannot finish the exam in the 5 to 6 hours. It's not possible, first of all, because there is lots of things happening over there. So normally you have to almost sit the 7 to 8 hours. That's how the things are going. If you're very, very talented, right, you know each and everything, right, then you can finish the exam in the 6 hours. But normally people will take the 7 to 8 hours, full hours, because there's lots of money is taking, right? Because $19 is the price of the CCI lab exam. Okay. And guys, let me know if you have any questions in the lab perspective or the exam perspective. Then I'm good to go on the practical part.
Hi, this is Pradeep. I'm not sure if I misunderstood you, but you said, did you rather say that there is no lab exam for CCNA, CCNP anymore?
No, there's no labs exams are not there. So you will get the small labs over there, what is the use of this command line, what is the use of that command line, then like that, but proper lab is not there. You need to go and write on every commands over there. These things are there. Previously it was there, now it's not there.
Okay, understood.
It's
So
like
no more scenario kind of
it's a
exams.
scenario based question. Some scenario comes over there and then you just solve it. So you need to properly, you're not going to configure everything is over there, right?
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thanks. So let me open my Cisco packet tracer. Guys, let me first tell you how to configure the basic things on the router side. Of course, we are going to start from the switching, right? Well, I'll just give you the overview right now, nothing else. So either you can configure on the Cisco packet tracer or EBNG on a GNS3, everywhere the same command line. Yeah, but one more thing, I forget that. Yeah, the most important thing. Normally, every PC, right, has an operating system that provide you communication between the hardware and the software, right? Same thing on a networking devices, right? If I talk about the router or switches, they have an operating system. In Cisco, if I talk about, in Cisco, we have a multiple types of operating system. We have a IOS operating system, internet operating system. So internet work operating system, then we have a iOS XE. iOS XE. Then you have a iOS XR, right? Then you have a Nexus OS and many more, right? Even if you go with the firewall, they have a different things, right? So Cisco has a multiple operating system. Which operating system you're going to learn? You're going to learn the iOS operating system in the enterprise. Mostly in service provider, if I talk about in service provider, all these three comes in the picture: iOS XE, iOS, and XR. But if I talk about the data center comes in the Nexus OS. So if you're planning for the enterprise, you are only going to deal with the iOS. Why I'm telling you this thing? The reason is that because on every iOS, right, the configuration is changed. Let me give you the example. On a Windows, if you're using the Windows laptop, right, in the Windows laptop, you can easily use, you have all the commands over there, right? So you have a keywords over there, normal keywords like a control you have, Windows you have, Alt you have, right? Enter you have, Shift we have, right? But if you're going to use the Apple, right? And Apple, what happened? You have a different command lines. Maybe on a Apple, what happened? You have some keyword is like a command over there, right? And command and control keyword both are different. But in this Windows, we just have a control keyword. So Apple has a different operating system. Windows has a different operating system. If I talk about the Linux is totally like a cell, right? Every operating system behaves like a different way. Same thing in networking, what happened in Cisco, we have a different operating system. If you're giving the command on the iOS router, right, it will be different on the iOS XE. It means that the way you configure the IP address, the way you configure the IP address on the iOS router, it's different on the XE or it's different on the XR as well. Right? The way you configure any routing protocol over there, It's different on the XE, it's different on the XR, it's different on the Nexus OS as well. Not 100%, yeah, almost 60 to 70% it's different. Technology is same, whatever the routing protocols you're going to learn it, like a IP address we have learned, right? 32-bit address. So same 32-bit address will be there in the iOS. Same subnetting will be there in the iOS. Same subnetting and IP address will be there in these operating system as well. Technologies are same, only the way to configure are different. CLI is different. Command line interface is different. Okay. So we are only going to discuss about what? We are only going to discuss about the iOS because you only have a iOS in the enterprise network. If I talk about the CCI enterprise, in a CCI enterprise, you just have a theory of the iOS XE, but not a lab. Okay. So right now, let's see. I told you that we have two types of cable as well. If you guys remember that, cable is nothing but it's just a media. You can compare with the cable is what? It's a bus, right? So you are a person, right? If you want to go from the HSR layer to the formal layer, one location to the another location, you just need to go into the bus and the bus will carry you, right? From one location to the another location. Same thing, right? That is a cable. What cable is doing that? Cable is a media that is going to carry your information from one location to the another location. And that's why we call as this is the wire technology, because in enterprise, we are completely discussing the wire technology because we are sending the data through the wire. If you're going to read about the wireless, the CCI wireless, if I talk about, in a CCI wireless, you're completely reading about the Wi-Fi signals over there. So both are the wired and wireless. Both are different technologies. Both are not the same one. So what we are going to focus, we are only going to focus on these part, wire technologies. I told you that we have two types of cable, right? Majorly, we have two types of cable. If I talk about we have a crossover cable on the same device, right? And different device, we have a straight through cable. Apart from this thing, we have a optical cable as well as for the far distance. Now, let's connect the data now. So we have already discussed each and everything, guys. I just recap all those things in the last 7-8 days. We have covered all those things. So if you have a question, you can ask the question, right? If you don't have a question, then I suggest you to please re-watch the video again. Now let's take a router. I told you that you can take a 281 router. So let me remove this 0. Okay, this is router 1 and this router number 2. I'll first give you the basic information, how to configure the IP addresses. Then we'll see the advanced level as well. So right now, the first of all, if you see right now, this interface in the red color, right? It means that this interface is the down state. Okay, it's a down state. But at the same time, if I'm going to connect the switch over there, right? Take example, I have a switch 1, I have a switch 2. Right? Wait for some time. It's in the red state right now, in the red color. It's come in the orange now. That's called as an amber state. So from the red, it jumped to the orange and it come to the now green. Red is down, orange is amber, green is up. Now you can see that's the green state, green color. It's in the upper state. So we can call it, right? We can say that by default, right? Let me write down in the notepad.
Also, when you get a chance, you mentioned red is down, green is up. What does orange indicate?
It's a amber, AMBER.
No, but like down, up, what does that
Okay,
amber
the
do?
orange, it's a processing. It's going from the red to the green.
Okay.
In this one, you cannot send any data traffic. It's processing from red to the orange green. So by default, all the router interfaces are in the down state, whereas by default, all the switch interface in the up state. I just connect the switch right now, right? After some few minutes, not few minutes, after the few seconds, I'll let you know what is the seconds we have over there. So it comes in the, when you're gonna learn about the spanning tree protocol, right? When you're gonna learn about the STP, spanning tree protocol, you will get to know that how long it will take to make this interface in the up state, right? But yeah, it's taking some second over there. So leave it right now, how many seconds? We'll discuss that thing in the STP protocol. But by default, my switch interface, we can say the layer 2 interface is up state, and my layer 3 interface, router interface is the down state. It means that what you have to do that, first, you need to bring this interface as an up state. First of all, you need to bring this interface as an up state, and then you need to configure the IP addresses over there. So step number one is what? Step number one, you just need to bring this state as an up state, right? Step number two is what? Then you can configure the IP addresses. Now, let me tell you one thing. Some people, right? Even me, right? If I talk about, like now I'm like I have a experience in the, like, you configure the IP address and everything, right? So what I'm doing that, I'm using the step number one as a configure the IP address, right? And step number two is what? I'm just making the up state. So there's nothing wrong about it. But what I'm going to suggest to you guys, like you guys are in the fresher right now, follow this one. If you're not going to follow this one, then do you know what happened? You may configure the IP address on that interface, but your interface will be in the still in the down state. And now you will have a question, hey, no, I configure my IP address on the interface, but I'm not able to send the traffic because your interface is the down state. If you have what, take example, if I just configure this interface as IP address is 1.1.1.1/8, which class of IP address is this? Class A, right? Same thing, 1.1.1.1.2/8, class A IP address. You know, I configure the IP address on this particular interface, right? But if I'm going to send the traffic, I say the ping, hey, listen, 1.1.1.1.2, I cannot send the traffic because this interface is the down state right now. So even if you configure the IP addresses, right, but you cannot send the traffic because the interface is the down state. All good. So now let's start it, right? So what I can do that, I just go on the router one. The CLI stand for command line interface. So you need to do all the configuration in the CLI part. The next things comes in your picture, right? So system configuration dialog. So continue with the configuration dialog. If you put the yes, then they will ask you the lots of questions. They will ask you to how, like, you can configure manually everything. Just say that, no, I don't want to configure manually everything. Let's go in the default behavior, right? And now you can see that I'm in the router mode. Can anyone tell me which mode is this? Anyone has idea?
Yes, sir. I think user mode.
It's a user mode, right?
Yes, sir.
So basically your router, right? If I talk about the iOS router, right? Again, I'm repeating, we are discussing about the CCI enterprise or CCNP enterprise or CCNA part. So we are only going to discuss about the iOS, not the XC, not the XR, not the NXS. So in the iOS, you have three modes. One we call as a user mode, right? That's called as a greater than sign you have. Then second is called as a privilege mode. And the third is called as a, let me write on in the notepad as well, configuration mode.
Configuration mode.
These are the global. Okay. Apart from this thing, right? Some engineers, some people also say that, hey, we have another mode is called as the interface mode. Some people also that we have another mode is called the routing protocol mode. Right. So I'm just letting you know. Okay. So if somebody will tell you, just say that these are not a modes, right? Majorly, the only we have a 3 modes we have. Even if you get a questions, you will get a question how many modes of the iOS we have. You just say the 3 modes: user, privilege, and configuration. Let me write down here so that I can share this notepad. You may have a question, Law, what is the use of this mode, that mode? Don't worry about that. You will get to know that everything. Okay, hold on. This is called as a configuration mode. Three modes we have on the sysfires: user, privilege, and configuration mode. Normally, whatever the configuration, see, as the name suggests that configuration. Configure means what? I can configure the routing protocol. I can configure the router name, right? Understand this concept. I can configure the routing protocol. I can configure the router name. I can configure what? I can configure the interface
Domain
IP,
name.
right? Domain names. Whatever the configuration that comes in your mind, like a NAT, PAT, HSRP, everything, right? DHCP, whatever comes in your mind, all the configuration you are doing in this mode right now.
Hello.
Go ahead.
It means, sir, every configure is configure this mode.
Yes. So you have to go into this mode. Take example. I'll just help you with the very small basic simulation. So we have our first mode is called as user mode.
Yes.
Second is called a privilege mode. And third is called a configuration mode. So take example. You are the engineer, right? This is the
Global
network engineer.
configuration.
And this network engineer wants to configure the IP address. Then what he has to do, he need to go to the configuration mode. He need to go under this box and then configure whatever they want to configure it. Now the question is that, how can I go into this mode? You cannot directly jump to the config mode. You cannot. You have to go step by, you have to first log in the user mode. Once you have login, you will get this mode, the greater than sign with the router name. The default name of the router is router, just a router. Okay. And then after that, what happened? This is just a name, guys, nothing else. We can change this name as well. This is just a name. And this is the greater than sign we have. So we can change this thing. Right now, you can see that we have lots of information over there. Leave this part right now. It's not important because if I'm explaining you right now.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. Hello. Okay. So what I'm yeah.
Sir, configuration global configuration mode
Yeah.
is configure hatch. Config hatch.
Yeah,
So
configure.
after global
Sir, please, sir, after global configuration mode, then config -if that called means why, sir?
I'm coming to the point. I'm just give me 1
What
minute.
is that
I'm
call
gonna
means?
guys, I'm gonna explain you everything. Just give me 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
I'll explain you everything. Don't worry. Okay. Let me cover
Config
it.
-if.
That's called as the interface mode. Guys, give me 5 minutes more. Okay, I'll give you
Okay,
the
sir. Okay.
Q&A. So we have a separate Q&A session, right? Don't worry about that. Okay, we'll discuss each and everything. Okay, all right. So what I'm saying that, okay, whatever the things that you can see right now, the 2800 software, these are the things over there, version 12.4, something. Leave this part right now. You are gonna understand each and everything. Just wait and watch. Okay. So what I told you that we have 3 modes: user, privilege, configuration mode. Majorly 3 modes we have. So you cannot directly jump into the config mode. What you have to do that, you just need to log into the user mode. And from user mode, you need to go first to the privilege mode. And then privilege mode, you need to go to the config mode. It's not like that I can directly jump from here to here. Okay, you need to go step by step. So what the first command is that, right? The first command, I just need to put the enable. Now, even if you put the en keyword, take example, you can use the tab keyword after putting the en, right? You can use the tab keyword, right? After putting the tab keyword, what tab keyword will do? It auto-complete the command. That's a beautiful feature, right, of the Cisco. That's a beautiful feature of the Cisco. If you put the tab keyword, it will auto-complete the command. Now, this feature is available in iOS, iOS XE, iOS XR, and Nexus OS 2. Okay, so if you see right now, it's enable. I'm just putting the tab. It's auto-complete the command. Okay, now I'm going to put the enter. Now you can see that I just move in the privilege mode. After the privilege mode, what I can do that? I say the con, put the tab, it's not working. Put the F, now it's auto-completed. I just put the conf, I put the tab, it's auto-complete, and then configure terminal. T, put the tab, auto-complete, and hit enter. Now you just come in the config mode. So the first thing, if you see over there, right? The first thing you have see, this was the mode of what? It was the user mode. After putting the enable keyword, right? I just move in the privilege mode, right? And then after putting the command config terminal, I just move in the config mode. So this is the command. This is the command we have. Okay, now this is the name. If you want to change the name, what you have to do that? You just need to put the command, it's called as a host name. Again, if you want to put the tab keyword, it will auto-complete. And now, what is the name that you want to define this host? I'm saying that it's a router 1. Once I'm going to put the enter, you can see that the name is changed. The name is changed. Understand this concept again, I'm repeating. I just move in the config mode. What I told you that whatever the configuration, like a router name change, DHCP, routing protocol, IP addressing, everything, you're going to do the configuration in the config mode. I'm in the config mode right now. I'm going to change the host name. I just need to put the keyword host name. And after that, I just define the name, what name I'm going to define it. I just say the router 1. And then, for example, I'm going to say that host name again. And now I'm going to define the name of this guy is what? CCNP. And this is the name that I'm defining this router name. I'm done. So now previously, the name of the router was router. Then I changed to the router 1 by putting this command. And then after I changed to the CCNP, name is changed. This kind of configuration, right, is called as a single stage of configuration. Why I'm calling this single stage of configuration? I know sometimes I'm using a little high level of words. You may not find these things of words in the normal books, okay, but it will help you in a production network. It will help you when you go in the corporate. It will help you whenever you're gonna learn the things in a high level way. It will help you that. So why I'm saying a single stage of configuration? Because once the user is putting the command, host name router 1, right? Immediately what happened? This result comes in the picture. Or we can say that this result comes in the running config. Or we can say that this result comes in the output. In a single stage. Why I'm saying the single stage? Because after putting the command, you can see the output. After putting the command, you can just see the output. Normally, this is not happening in the iOS XR, in a different operating system. I'm saying the XR, right? Not the Nexus. So again, I'm just telling you, this is a little higher level, but understand, if you're not able to digest it, leave it. But now you become the familiar with this word, right? The single stage configuration. Now,
I have a question.
please go ahead.
How can you bring default router name, for example?
I didn't bring the default, I didn't bring the default router. It's come with the name of the router as a router.
Oh, you just put router?
No. When I just turn on my router, it comes with the default name.
Yeah, but for example, when you configure router name, how can you bring it back to default?
You need to know the name of the first behavior.
Is there any command?
Pretty, I haven't seen that. There is no command. I haven't seen that. But if you want to bring the same name router, then you need to change the host name and put the router. It's come in the default one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Most welcome. It is a default stage when you
Sir,
unpack.
hello, sir.
1 minute. There's some question in the chat. It is a default stage when you unpoke it. I didn't understand, Nasir.
I think what he was trying to say is that when you open up a new router or a new device,
Yeah.
that by default factory, I think
It's a
that's
default
it.
stage,
It is
right?
called a
Yes.
router name. Yes.
Yeah, it's
I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah. It's a default stage, right? Yes. Anyone else?
Sir, can we use no host name?
What do you mean? No host name?
No host name means default router.
Okay, that
and
one, yeah, you can use it. So host name, say that is router 1, and so the no
yes,
host name, router 1. It's coming in the default.
yes, sir.
Right. So we have an autocomplete command, the tab you can use it. Now let's configure the IP addresses. So try to understand till this point, we have what? We have a config mode, right? Now, again, I told you that only the majorly, if I talk about, we have only 3 modes. You need to configure the IP addressing, right? If you want to configure the IP address, you need to go into this box. Now we have another box we have. This box called as an interface mode. So if you want to configure the IP addressing, you need to go into this mode. Now you may have a question, only IP addressing law? No, many more things, right? When you're going to learn about the routing protocols and networking features, right? Then you will see that the use of this mode. Majorly right now, we are focusing on the interface IP addressing part. That's why we're discussing the IP addressing only. But in later, you will see there is a more use case of the interface mode as well. So now you have to jump into this mode. Now this network engineer has to go to this mode. right? Again, how they will go, they need to follow the hierarchy like this way. You cannot go into the interface mode directly. So I just need to go to the interface and so the interface, what interface we have. If you see, we have a name of the interface. It's called as a F. F means what? It's a fast Ethernet. Remember the day 2, I told you about the keywords we have. We have a Ethernet, we have a fast Ethernet,
Yes,
we have a
yes,
gigabit
Yes, sir.
Ethernet,
Yes, sir.
between 10
Gigabit Ethernet, 10
right?
gig, 20 gig.
Gigabit Ethernet.
we
Exactly.
have serial cable as Ethernet, fast Ethernet, gigabit.
Right, guys. So these are the just a cable types. It's depend on the router modules. It's not like that every router module is going to support the fast Ethernet, every router module is going to support the 100 gig. It's depend on the module by module. You need to check the data set. Don't worry, I'll help you that how to check the data set as well. The data set is nothing that data set is something like that. There's just some more information about that particular router. You can check on the Cisco. Even after the class, you can just Google a data set of the particular router name. They will give you the complete information about the router, whatever the speed that you can use on that particular router. Okay, so now we have an interface. Which interface? We have a fast Ethernet. So we need to put the keyword fast. And if you just press the tab, it will auto complete the command. Now, on a router, right, we have a multiple ports over there. Multiple ports we have, right? How do I identify this port? To identify this port, we are giving the numeric number. We are giving the 0/0, 0/1, 0/2, 0/3, 0/4. So right now I have over there is what? We have a 0/0. I just need to put the 0/0 and now hit enter. Now you can see that config to config if mode. And now under this if mode, what I can do that, I can configure the IP addressing. The first command you have to configure the IP address is keyword is start with the IP. Okay, the IP keyword is saying that, hey, you are not going to configure the address of this interface by using the IP protocol. The command start with the IP address. Means what? I'm going to give the address. Listen to me carefully, my words. I'm going to give the address. I'm going to give the address on this interface by using the IP protocol. I'm going to give the address on this particular interface by using the IP protocol. So which address I want to give that? I say that, let's take example. I'm going to use the class C, the private range 192.168.1.1, right? Subnet mask, we need to give that because without subnet mask, this command will be rejected, right? We need to give the subnet mask because subnet mask tell you how many host and network which we have. And I said that 255.255.0 and hit enter. What I told you that by default, all the interface of the router is in the down state. So still, if you see right now, my interface is in the down state. What I have to do that, I need to up this guy by saying that, hey, no shutdown. After that, you can see that my interface is up. Straight to up now.
So it seems like in general, any command that you use to activate that feature, if you start the same command with no before it, it will deactivate that command or take it back to the default. Am I correct?
If I say the no to no shutdown like that.
No. So if you do shutdown, then
Yeah, it will
shut
gonna
down.
deactivate the interface. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you use no before any command, it will just undo that
Exactly.
feature or that command. Okay.
Right. Now, you may have a question. What is this now? Leave it. Again, it's the like a started of the practical. So you have to leave the many things. But at the end of the training, right, you will understand everything. Now, same thing, I just need to go on the router number 2 now. CLI. I see the
Sir,
name.
back. Sir,
Yeah.
sir, router config hyphen if. Please mention that.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Global configuration mode.
Yeah.
Yes, IF. Global configuration mode is config.
Config mode is
Router is config. Yes.
yeah.
Then router config if.
Interface mode.
Interface mode. I just explained that.
Yes.
Can you see that? This is the interface mode.
Sorry. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let's go to router number 2 now. And router number 2, we need to then know again, because I don't want to go in the default behavior. Router by default name is a router over there. Just for the first keyword is enable. That's enable is a command. Config terminal, auto keyword. I just config the config terminal mode. Just change the name of the router to. Same thing. It's not a rocket science, just a normal practice, guys. Interface. Which interface? 0/0. You can also use the shortcut key. Instead, you can also use it like this way as well, or this way as well. So both are fine. Right? So interface 0/0. I see the IP address what? Now I can call as a 192.168.1.2. Done. No shut. So the interface that I have configured over there, if you guys remember that, let me remove this thing. The IP that I have configured on this guy, it's 192.168.1.1/24. This guy is configured 192.168.1.2/24. You can see that this interface in the green state now. Green means what? It's up. Now, if you want to send the traffic, take example, right? Now, if you want to send the traffic, right? What you have to do that? You need to go into the which mode? Privilege mode. You have to go in the privilege mode. You need to put the command exit. So if I'm going to say the exit, now what happened? You will go in the reverse mode. This way now. You will go in the config mode after putting the exit. Again, you put the exit, you will go in the privilege mode. Now I can see the ping on which router I'm the router number 2. I see the ping. Ping is a command that works on the which protocol? ICMP. Ping is stand for packet internet protocol. I see the 192.168.1.1. And now hit enter. If everything is good, you will see the traffic is going on. So this exclamation mark, right, is gonna represent that, okay, the ping, the traffic is successful. The exclamation mark is gonna tell you the traffic is successful. Again, I'm repeating, leave it the what is the first dot we have over there. The first dot means this packet is dropped. Why this drop? You will understand after maybe in the Monday or maybe on Tuesday. And leave this part right now, whatever the 100 byte ICMP equals these things. Right now, the understanding.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, one packet is lost, sir. Why?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Wait for some time.
I think, sir. Okay, I think ARP is used, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Now wait for some time. We'll discuss each and everything.
Okay,
Nice.
Okay, no issue, sir.
I cannot jump to the high level topic, right? Wait for some time.
No
So-
problem. No
So
problem. Just
the
I'm
first
asking, sir. No
the
issue.
first packet get dropped. Okay, now after that we have a successful result. So you can see that the 5 packets I have sent. Okay, the default behavior when I say the ping 192.168.1.1.1, the default behavior of the unicast is what? You're gonna send the 5 packets on the unicast. On the unicast, you will see the 5 packets. The 5 packets I have sent, but I just got the reply of what? 80%, 4 packets. Because the first packet get dropped, and then I got the reply of the only 4, 80% success rate. Now, if I'm gonna send it again back, my 100% comes in the picture. Why this thing is happening, we'll see that. But understand the basic concept right now. How to verify the connectivity. By default, we are sending the 5 packets in the unicast. Now we have a 100% success result. Same thing, right? Now again, I just need to go in the config mode. Take example. What we have to do, again, we need to go in the config mode like this way, because I cannot jump to the interface mode from here. If I'm going to put the interface, take example, it's not autocomplete. I cannot jump it. It's not possible. You need to go in the config mode, and then you need to go in the interface mode. So now we have over here. So the another command I just talked about, exit keyword, right? So normally in the exit, what happened? You will go in the previous mode. You do have an option. You can use the keyword as a control Z. If you put the control Z, hit enter, you can see that I can directly jump from the interface mode to the previous mode. Okay, guys, anyone has any doubts till now?
So,
No, sir.
sorry, I must have missed it. You said Control Z for going back to the user mode, or just one step
Normally
back?
what happened, if you want to go in the privilege mode, and if you are present in the interface mode, what happened? You need to first put the exit keyword, then you have to go in the config mode, then again you have to put the exit keyword, then you can go in the privilege mode, and then you can use the ping command, right?
Okay.
Okay.
If we will put the command end, so it will step down one
I'm coming to the
mode.
point. I'm coming to the right. Just give me 2 minutes.
That's why it was coming in. It's
Yeah.
coming in my mind.
Okay, so normally what happened, I put the 2 times exit, first time, second time, right? Then I came to the privilege mode. You do have ability, you can directly put the control Z. If you put the control Z, normally what happened? You can directly jump to the interface mode to the privilege mode. So you don't need to type the exit and exit. Okay?
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the interface mode again.
Got it, got it.
Thank you. Config terminal, interface mode, 0/0. Another option you have is called the end. Again, if you put the end keyword, then you can jump to the interface mode to the privilege mode. So till this point, what you have understand? Till this point, you have understand, if you want to do the any kind of configuration, you have to go in the configuration mode. And if you want to do the any kind of verification, you have to go in the privilege mode. Verification in the sense of what? I just want to send the traffic to just verify the connectivity between this guy to this guy. I have to go in the privilege mode. Now, take example again. Go in the config mode, config terminal, enter, put the command interface 0/0. So guys, always focus on my command line because it helps you. So sometimes I'm putting the complete interface keyword. Sometimes I'm not putting the complete interface keyword. Okay, so both the command will be acceptable. Now, take example, you are in this mode. And if you want to verify the IP connectivity between this guy to this guy, what you have to do that? You have to go in the privilege mode, right? But you do have ability, you can verify from here. Take example, if I say the ping 192.168.1.1, what happened? He's saying, hey, it's an invalid command, it's an invalid input. What you have to do that, Cisco allow you to verify something from any mode except the privilege, but you have to add the do keyword. You have to add the do keyword. And then now I can send the ping 101. It's gonna go. Cisco allow you to verify anything from any mode except the privilege mode. You can use the do keyword. So with the help of do keyword, you can verify from the config mode, You can verify from the interface mode. Now you may also have a question, can I verify from the privilege mode? The same thing, right? Let's put the end over there. So I can directly jump from interface mode to the privilege mode, right? Now, can I do the do pick over there? It's gonna work? No, because privilege does not understand the do. Privilege only understand the normal verification command. All good? Questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you do command
Complete, sir.
on config mode?
Yeah,
On global.
I told you that, right? We can do that.
Yeah, I missed it. Sorry about that. Thank you.
So do. Yeah. Now, let's see how to remove the IP address from the interface. Okay, let's see how to remove the IP address from the interface. I just need to go in the interface 0/0, and I just simply put the command no IP address. That's now the IP has removed. Even you can put the complete command as well. If you want to do that like this way, you can put it, but there's no sense, right? Let me add it again, and then I'll show you that. It's not taking command. Some router is taking that, this router is not taking that. Some router will take the complete one as well. If you want to remove, you can use the complete, but this router is not taking that. So you can just put the no IP address, that's all. But some router is taking it, this one also. So, but this is the standard one to remove the IP address. No IP address, and the IP address will be removed from the interface. Let me give it again back. IP address will be 191.168.1.2 now. And done. Now, put the end keyboard again. Now, I want to verify that this IP address is configured on the interface or not. How I can see that? So I want to see. So what keyword I have to use? So what I'm gonna show that? What I'm gonna see that? I'm gonna see the IP. Or where I want to see the IP? I want to see the IP on the interface. Do you want to see the complete details or concise information? I'm saying, hey, I need a brief information. Now you can see that I have a 1 or 2 now. And you can see that the first 0/0, we have a IP address is 1 or 2. Okay is yes. Method is a manual means what? Manual means a network engineer has manually configured this IP address through the command line. The meaning of manual is what? A network engineer has manually configured this IP address through the command line. Here, you can also see as a DHCP as well. We'll see that later when I'm going to discuss about the DHCP protocol too. But manual means what? Manual. Unset means what? There is no IP address has been set by the engineer. Unassigned means what? There is no IP address on this particular interface. The status and protocol is up right now. So this is the way that you can see the information about the show IP interface brief. So means what? I just want to see what you want to see that. I want to see the IP information about what? I want to see the IP information of the interface. Do you want to see the detailed information or brief information? I want to see the brief information. Take example. I want to see the detailed information. I just put the show IP interface. Now it will give you the detailed information. Lots of information you will not understand right now. Leave it. One thing that you can see that what you understand right now, the internet address, that's IP address 102/24. The broadcast address is this one. This is the global broadcast address. This is not a this subnet broadcast address. This is the global broadcast address. That's going to represent for the every network. The 10.0, 772.16.0, 190. This global broadcast address represent the class A, all the class A address, all the class B address, and all the class C addresses. So these are the basic part. Let me show you something else. What I can do that. config terminal, right? Again, go in the interface 0/0. I say the no IP address, right? I have removed the IP address. Now I want to verify again, right? What is the command do that? Show IP
Interface brief.
interface brief. If I'm going to put the key enter, then what happened? It will give the error, right? What do we have to do that? We need to use the do keyword. So can you see that your cursor is over here right now, right? If you want to go over there, if you want to bring this cursor over there, what you can do that? Either you can put the right arrow key, right? Sorry, left arrow key, you can go this side, or either you can just use the Control A. So from here to here, I can jump with the help of Control A command. And now I can use the do keyword over there. Now you can see that the IP address is not there, but the interface is up. The reason is that because I have put in the no shutdown command as well, right? So on the interface, I did the two things. I said the no shutdown, and I said the IP address 192.168.1.2, and I only removed this part, right? I only removed this part. I haven't removed the no shutdown. If you want to shut down this interface, simply you can say the interface 0/0 shutdown. My interface has been down now. And now if you verify again, just put the up arrow key, right? If you put the up arrow key, you will see that do swipe interface brief. Now the interface is done. Someone background TV. I don't see that.
I hear some TV noise in the background.
Where's the knee, right? Can you put your complete name? Considering you're not in mode. Okay, so this is how you can configure it. One more command we have. Let me check, is it working or not on the this box first of all, because Cisco packet server does not allow those lot high level commands, right? So take example, I just say the interface 0/0, right? And I say the IP address will be what? It should be 1.2/24. And I can see the no shutdown, pause. And I want to remove that IP address. So one option you have, I know IP address. Second option, what you can do that. Go in the config mode. Default, it's not working over here. So normally you can do what you can do that. You just use the default keyword and say the interface 0/0. So if you put this command default interface 0/0, then what happened? Whatever the configuration, doesn't matter. If you have 10 lines of configuration on this particular interface, all those configuration will be removed. Focus on the name. Default means what? Make this interface in the default mode. What is the default mode? Remove everything. Remove everything. Only the interface will be up. Normally the default mode is what? Interface is down and no configuration, right? That's a default mode. The default mode is what? Interface is down and no configuration. So when I say the default interface 0/0, what happened in that case? We are going to remove every single thing from that interface. Everything will be removed, right? Only the part will be what? The interface will be up state. So this command is not used by this Cisco packet server, right? Because Cisco packet server doesn't support the high level things, right? But I'll show you this command on the GNS3 as well. Not today, we'll see that later. So this is how you can do the show things on the router side.
This is just particularly for the one interface, right? Default. It will not impact on other interfaces.
No, it's not gonna do on any. So I just mentioned the first in 0/0. It's only gonna do for the interface 0/0.
Okay, thank you.
Now, all this configuration, let me add it again back. And all this configuration, right, is stored in your router memory, and that call as a running config. So I want to see the running config. Running config means what? Whatever the things are present on the router side right now. If I just put the enter, you can see that hostname that I have configured, right? Few things are there. Just leave it right now, okay? Because you will not understand. So whatever the things you understand, we are just focusing on that part. So hostname, we did the configuration that you can see the router 2. Interface, we did the configuration. Okay, guys, this is called as your running config. But take example. Do you know your laptop has a something called as a your laptop or your PC or computer, something called as a restart button?
Yes.
Your router also has something called as a reload button. If you're gonna reload the router, all running config will be reached.
Sir, iOS image is a
No,
error.
configuration or running config. I put that config keyword.
Yes.
Configuration like a host name, this IP address will be removed. So if you
And
don't want to remove that configuration, for example, I'm already normally in the production network, what happened? This is the Cisco packet tracer, right? And the GNS3 in the virtualization if I talk about. But in a normal production network, what happened? You're not gonna reload the router. Yeah, if something is crazy is happening on that router, right? Like some process is not working fine. Okay. Some like something getting dropped, some high CPU is getting high, memories consumption and memory is getting decreased, right? So and that's recommendation. No, you will normally what guys please be on mute. Can you hear me? Can you please? So normally what happened? So normally when anything's happened with the router, so normally people are raising the tag cases, right? So what Cisco will recommend you, please reload the router, okay? They will first verify everything, right? And mostly like, if something is getting very bad, if the tag engineer cannot do anything, right? So maybe they will recommend you to reload the router. Take example.
Then can I something?
I'm gonna remove you right now, Nee. Please be on mute. If you have a question, then please ask me. I have muted 3 times to you. Yeah, BJ, go ahead.
Yes,
Sir,
Go ahead, anyway.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, can please explain which command we are using erase the iOS image and which command
Yeah, we'll discuss everything right now.
restored
Yeah,
the iOS image.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, BJ. We haven't done those three part right now. That's a very high level one.
Sir, why I am saying 2 days before 2 days I have this problem.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that. Hold on, sometimes, right? We'll discuss everything. So right now
Yes,
we
sir.
are only focusing on the basic part, right? We'll discuss each and everything like password recovery and those things. Don't worry.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So if you're gonna reload it, then what happened? Your all running config will be releases, right? So normally what happened in the production network, we are saving the configuration. We are saving the configuration. How you can save the configuration? So normally what you have to do that, either you can use the command WR, right? Right memory. Right, I'll just put the right memory in the right. When I put the right memory, what happened? Your configuration will be saved now. I'm building the configuration. You can also use the shortcut keyword WR, right? Hit enter. Or either you can use the keyword called as a copy running config to the startup config. So 3 ways, either you can, sorry, not 2 ways we have. Either you can use the WR or either the copy running config to the startup config. In this both the way, what happened? We can save our configuration. Right now, if I'm going to reload the router, take example. Now, if I'm going to reload the router, right? Now your configuration will be not removed from the router. So if you have saved it, then it will not lost. Yes, exactly.
Can I use command do right?
Sorry?
Can I use command do right?
Do right, you can use on the config mode. So take example, you are gonna not, you cannot use over here. So take example, you can say the do write. I cannot do that. I have to go in the config mode and do that. It's gonna work over there.
Okay.
Now that you have understand the how to configure the IP address on the router, let's come to the tricky part. I need to open my GNC. I don't know if it's going to work on the Cisco packet address or not. Let me open my GNC. Nee, do you have any questions? I can see that your mic is on.
Oh, I don't have any question at the moment. I think it is my phone that is acting up.
Wow. What's your complete name? It's your Nee is a complete name?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I can send you the full name anyway.
Okay, got it. So I'll putting you on a mute right now because I'm getting some background noise from you. If you have any question, you can please unmute yourself, or either you can message it. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, now, so I have a routers over there. Wait, few routers. I'll take it 72 series. Don't confuse with the 372572000. Just a name of the router, nothing else. Like we have our phones, iPhone 5, iPhone 6s, 7s, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Same like that. If you go with the higher features, you will get that. So don't confuse. I just put the green color over there. I just start my router, but still the interface is down right now. Okay. Don't worry, I'll teach you how to use the GNS3. Like we have discussed about the how to how to operate the Cisco packages. Same way we'll learn the GNS3 as well, but not now. Okay, so that's my router one. So may you have question here. I'm not getting the user mode right now over here. We are just entering the privilege mode. So that's a GNS3 behavior. Okay, I cannot do anything, but I'll give you the one task. Okay, try to find, can I go in the user mode in GNS3? That's a crazy task, I know. Nobody will ask you. Just I'm asking, can I go in the user mode in the GNS3? Just find it. If yes, then what is the command for that one?
Exit command.
So which command?
Exit.
Exit, not gonna work.
And command.
Command end.
And it's not working.
Control
I
A.
think
Control greater than symbol.
Control
A.
Greater than symbol.
greater than
Control Z.
Control Z, not working.
this is by default, sir.
That's my question. That's
can
by
do a
default.
question
That's my
mark.
which one? Question mark?
Question mark, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
go through what we have, yeah.
Which one?
Searching, sir. Searching and update you tomorrow, sir.
So just find it and let
Turn
me know.
off the privilege command.
One of the privilege command. Okay.
Is it disabled?
It's by default disable, but you need to tell me how to enable it.
Enable?
No, that's not enable. So just let me know. That's not a big deal. Okay, let's do it right now. So let's go in the config terminal mode. Right, that's you can do the configuration in the config terminal mode. You need to go in the interface mode, which interface 0/0. First question to you guys. Okay. Take example. I have a 192.168.1.0. Okay. I need a 2 host. Let me tell you. Okay. Someone has gave something. A new window will appear as startup configure on click load configuration. When we ran the startup will appear as a below, remove the previous enter the line console and click OK button. Google it. So two hosts we have, try it then we do. So we have a two host requirement. Now, till this point, what we have discussed, guys? We have discussed about like a 4-host, minimum 4-host, right? Because you need to go with the 4-host. Because in the 4-host, what happened? You have a 2-host as a IP address, right? And one will be broadcast ID, one will be network ID. That's how. But still, in this case, try to understand what happened. You're going to waste these two things. If I talk about the service provider perspective, it's very painful for the service provider because service provider is charging for every IP because he's buying from the INA, right? INA is selling the IP address to the ISP service provider, right? And if service provider cannot utilize these IP addresses, then again, it's a waste of money of the service provider, right? It's a wastage of money of the service provider. So on router, right? On router, you do have the ability. On router, you do have ability. You can give the IP address as a /31 as well. Normally, it's not possible. Let me show you. Let me give the same thing on the packet tracer on my end system. This is our PC1 we have. Open this guy and let's give it. This is going to work or not. It's not working. It's not taking the command. But same thing, if I'm going to do that on the router side, I say the interface IP0/0, IP interface, word 1. 1.0, have a look. 254 is the /31, right? Right now? Guys, 254
Yes,
is
sir.
/31, right?
Yes.
Enter.
Yes, sir.
It's working. Do show IP interface brief. Same thing on the router number 2, you can give the, because in a /31, what happened? You will have a 2 hosts, right? Increment number will be 2, right? Let me tell you. /31, how many bits? 1, 1, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 8, and then 7. Total is 31. This is the 0. Right? 31 we have. We can allocate the IP addresses over there, right? So what is the increment number for this guy? The last digit from the right side we talked about in the submitting part, right? So the value of this guy is 2, right?
2.
2. So only have a 2 hosts. So I'm just giving the IP address on this guy is what? 191.1.0/31. And this guy will be 1.1/31. It's not possible on the end user, but it's possible on the router side. So on the router 1, router 2, what IP address I can give it? I'll give it the interface 0/0, 1.1, 254. No shutdown. That's gone. So now you can check the show IP interface brief, same command. I can ping it, man. I can ping the 1.0. I hope this is clear to all of you guys. ISPs, right? Normally, you can see that ISP is also giving the /31 as well. Okay, so never confused with the things like only we have a /32. /30 is the last one. Not /31 is the last one. Then what is the network ID and broadcast ID? There is a network ID and broadcast ID is 1.0 and 1.1. But we have utilized the network ID over there. There is no host over here, guys. There is no host. This was the network ID and this was the broadcast ID. Now we have given the command for them.
Quick question. Again, sorry, because I was not present for the last sessions. You don't have that /32 because it becomes the whole broadcast thing. And again, if this question is too early, I can
So
wait and
no,
come back.
I'm coming to the point again. That's my next thing. I'm going to hold on this. I'm coming to the point. So the first thing is that normally /30 is good. Okay, /31 we are also using it. ISP is giving you /31 because if take example, if the /32 ISP will give you, normally in the /30 what happened? One will be the broadcast, one will be the network ID, and two will be the host, right? In this one, what happened? It's a totally waste of what? It's a totally waste of the two IPs for the service provider. What service provider did it? Service provider said, hey, now we can go with the /31 as well. Now the question comes over there, like someone suppose that hey, what about the broadcast and network ID now? So try to understand this /31. If you see that I have just configured on the PC side, right? But PC was throwing the error message. Invalid IP for the subnet mask entered. You cannot enter the network ID. So normally this /31 is recommendation, not recommendation again. It's a mandatory. There's a difference in the recommendation and mandatory. It's mandatory to configure on the point-to-point network, or we can say the point-to-point link. Point-to-point means what? Only you will have two things, this side and this side, nobody else. Point-to-point means nobody else, only the 2%. So tell me one thing, if you only have a 2%, do you require any kind of broadcast IP over there? No, you don't have requirement. The broadcast requirement comes over here. If you have a switch, if you have PCs, if you have another PCs, if you have another PCs, and if you have another PCs. PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4. This guy has IP address 101, this guy's IP address 102, this guy's IP address 4, this guy's IP address 1. In this case, we have a requirement of the broadcast. Because this network type is called as a broadcast network type. But we just have a two connection over there. Only 2%. I cannot add the another person over here. If I cannot add the another person, what is the need of broadcast over there? That's why ISP saying that, hey, you can use the point-to-point on the point. You can use the /31 on the point-to-point network. We'll only have a 2% point-to-point. Then always focus on the name. See the name is saying the point-to-point means what? Only 2%. That's all. So if you have only 2%, I can go with the network ID and broadcast ID. And that's way I can save the lots of IP. The last one is what? /31. Now, let me give you the more trick. You can also configure /32 as well. Means directly /32 completely. So here you have a 2 IP address. Now here you will have a 1 IP address. Question is where? Where I can configure the only 1 IP address? Anyone knows who is working in the production right now? On which interface does require only single IP address?
Loop back.
Great. Look back. So there is something called these all whatever the interfaces that you can see there, guys. All these interfaces called as the hardware interface, or we can say the physical interface, right? Apart from the physical interface, you know, on a Cisco router, you have something called as a loopback interface, right? This loopback interface is called as a logical interface. Logical interface means what? Hardware interface always in the shutdown mode, okay? And that's why, guys, please pay attention to my words. Always in the shutdown mode. That's why you're putting the no shutdown command over there. Loopback interface is a logical interface. Logical means what? It is present, but you cannot see that. Hardware means what? Through the cable, you are putting the cables into the port. But loop back, there is no port. It's virtual. So virtual interface is always up. We are going to discuss lots of things about the loop back. Don't worry about that. Okay. But on this loop back interface, the logical interface, right? You can configure /32. Again, I'm repeating, we are just discussing about the IP addressing part. I'm not discussing what is loopback right now. Okay. Loopback is a single interface. It's a single interface. So on that single interface, there's a requirement of only single IP. So you do have ability, you can configure /32 over here. So let me show you that. I'll create the one loopback. I see the interface. You can see that there's lots of names over there, man. Right? Fast Ethernet you have, right? Gig Ethernet you will see somewhere, right? I can configure now. It's a loopback. This one. I see the loopback. Any name I can configure it. So I can use the any number from here to here. This range of the loopback you can create on the router side. I see the loopback number 1, and now I can configure the IP address. Take example 2.1/32. Working fine. If you want to verify, I can. It's /32. You may also have a question. Can I configure this /32 on this physical interface? Let's try it. Interface 0/0. Let me show you this command. Default. Interface 0/0. It will remove the all configuration from that interface, except the interface will be in the up state. Now see the do show IP interface brief. Previously, we had an interface on this particular interface. Now, after putting the default interface 0/0 in the default configuration, now we don't have anything. Only the interface is up. Now, can I configure this guy as a what? 3.1/32 invalid command. So, sorry, interface 0/0 that mask. Why? Because this fast Ethernet, right? Either you can go with this fast Ethernet as a point-to-point or either broadcast. Default behavior is a broadcast. Okay. Default behavior is a broadcast. You can change it to point-to-point if you want. That's not a big deal. Point-to-point in the protocol perspective, right? But right now it's a point-to-point behavior. Configuration is the protocol perspective. But you cannot configure a single IP over here. Sorry, the complete submit over there, 32 over there. You have to go with the what? /31 is the last. But loopback is a single interface. I can go with /32. Now I'm done for the today, man. If you have any question, you can go ahead and ask me.
So if there is a more than routers connected to each other, obviously if they're directly connected, they will be considered as a point-to-point link, right?
Right now, there's consider it, but it's not a point-to-point right now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, if we have a topology,
Right.
say 4 or 5 routers connected, but
Mhm.
they will obviously they are in a different broadcast domain. But if they are directly connected to each other, they will be as a point-to-point P2P link.
So this is the broadcast right now, router 2,
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
router 4. So in this case, you cannot use the /31 because we have a multiple one. We need a broadcast.
So, but the 31 is that like I missed that point. Sorry, I'm gonna ask you again. So if you said /31, right?
/31 always comes in the picture. Take example. Let me give the explanation. This is the service provider, right?
Right.
And this is the customer. Okay. So this is the customer company, right? They have a multiple routers in between. Take example. We have router 1, router 2, router 3, router 4, router 5, router 6, like that.
Right.
Okay. Like that, they have connectivity, right? And now this service provider this customer is gonna make a connectivity with the service provider. Okay.
Correct.
Now, you are the owner of this service provider, take example. Okay.
Sure.
Now, if you're gonna give the /30 range of IP addresses, like a 192.168.1.0, right?
Mhm.
/30. In this case, what happened? You're giving the IP addresses 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3, right?
That's right, yeah.
Right? Or you have option of this one, /31, because only we have a two interface. Sorry, we have
Nice.
point to point, right? You have /31. So now you have a 192.168.1.0 /31 and 192.168.1.1/31. Now,
Okay.
for you,
It's just
you understood or like explain?
it's just one way or other way. So basically the same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So if you, for each IP, I'm costing you the $5, right? Take example, random example, $5, $5,
Right.
$5, and $5. And for this guy, $5 and $5. So anyways, if you're gonna use the /30, what happened? You're only gonna use this two one, right? This two will be wastage. Sorry,
Okay.
this you're gonna
So
use this one and this one. This will be wastage, right? Because this is the network ID and this is a broadcast ID.
correct, yeah.
Do you need a network and a broadcast ID over there in the 2%?
I think we do, right?
Why do we need to whom you are gonna send the broadcast traffic? You tell me.
No, you don't need it. They're directly connected.
It's a directly connected. Do you need any broadcast traffic to send it? Because only one person.
Yeah, you don't need it. No.
Of course, there is no need to broadcast. So I can use the /31. I can save my money. $10, I can save it.
Right. Okay. But so that means that we will not allocate or we will not assign the /30 if they are.
Yeah, again, it's up to you. If you want to allocate, you can allocate it. Like I just told you that.
But it's best not to be.
Yeah,
Ideal.
I want to save the money of my company. I can save it.
I see.
So now, whenever you whenever you're doing the job in the production network, whenever you are working with ISP, try to have a look on the /value now. Start looking for the /value. Are you getting the /30, /31, like this thing, right?
So you always see that in production environment.
I have seen that. That's why I gave the example, right?
I see.
So
Okay.
so we have seen everything. We have seen the /30, we have seen the /31 as well, and all the remaining part as well. Yeah, go ahead. /32 you can give on the loop back only. Or /31 you can go in the point to point network. And apart from the below the 30, right? Below the 30, below or equal to the 30, you can go with the broadcast.
Right.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah, Bhushal, go ahead.
If you get a /30 from ISP.
/30, right? You're saying /30, this one.
Yeah. What, two addresses? No, 31, I mean, 31.
31, okay.
Yeah. If you get /31, so you have only two addresses from them, right?
You're right. So one side ISP is gonna assign. So if ISP is gonna assign the 1 or 0, then you are left with the 1 or 1.
Yes, but what you gonna do for the rest of your network?
Your rest of the network, you're gonna use the private IP addresses. Why you are gonna use the public? Remember, I told you the difference between the private and public. Private are free to use. Public are payable.
Okay.
So in a private, what you can do in an internet network, you can use all the private IP addresses, right? On this side, you're gonna use the public IP addresses.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
And now the question is that I also told you that how the private IP address cannot reach to the internet directly. So what you have to do that you need to do the NAT over there.
NAT, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Most welcome, Vijay.
Question.
I have one question.
Yeah.
ICMP header contains what are the fields?
Sorry, I didn't understand. What's the question?
ICMP protocol you have said, right?
We are gonna see that. Don't worry about that. We haven't done it till now. Wait for some time more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Question about loopback address.
Loopback, you can ask regarding the loopback addresses, but don't ask what is loopback right now.
No, Okay, no. So I don't want to go in detail,
Okay.
but because you mentioned, and I'm like curious,
Yeah, go ahead.
what is and if it is the right time to answer that question, that's okay. If not, I'm willing to wait.
Tell me your question.
Question is, what is in real life scenario in production environment, what is the purpose of loopback address?
I think so. Then we have to wait. We don't-
Okay, understood. No
Okay.
problem. Thank
Because
you.
see, most of the people are fresh right now, so it will be bounce for every
Yeah, no, and also again, I'm not trying to show off that I know anything. I
No.
genuinely do
It's
not.
fine. It's fine. Let me pause the recording. Like, 1 minute.